How my role expanded, how my role developed, how my role became the role was never discussed. We never ever said anything about it. I would meet Johnny before the show in his dressing room for about 7 minutes. We would never ever talk about the show. We talk about anything else. You know, currently now, will the Pope retire in Poland? Will there be a replacement? And he'd have something funny to say about that. There'd be something funny. You know, maybe they'll move the Vatican to Warsaw. It'll look nice in Warsaw. It rains a lot, but, you know, it'd be a joke, something. That's what we would do before the show. Never, ever, you do this, I'll do that. I'm going to say this, you say it. We never discussed the show. So we also never discussed my role. My role just evolved based on what we had done on the daytime game show at ABC, Who Do You Trust, carry some of that over into the Tonight Show. A lot of the stuff that we honed on the daytime show, we just automatically dropped it into the night show. The kidding about my size, the kidding about my drinking, the kidding about my partying, all of those things, you know, about me being the party boy. You know, the Phil Harris for Jack Benny was the guy that never missed a party. I was the same guy. Johnny envied me at parties because he's not good at parties. He's good with 10 million. He's terrible with 10 people. So he knows that I'm good with 10 people. I'm good with 50. So he envied that. He would talk about that. So all of those things developed, and you could get a line. I talked about the days off. I got one of the biggest laughs on the show ever. He said to me, he said, it was a Thursday night. He said, who's on tomorrow night? I said, I don't know. He said, what do you mean you don't know? I said, I don't know. I said, I'm not going to be here, so I just haven't paid attention to it. I don't know. What do you mean you're not going to be here? I said, it's Friday, and I'm taking Friday off. I'm going to take a vacation day. I'm taking a day off. You certainly invented it. Well, a tremendous laugh from the audience. You know, I got the boss. I zinged him. Well, those things weren't written. No one could write those things. That happened in the evolving of the character, of the relationship. I could call him to task if he said something that I didn't think that was right. I said, wait a minute. What do you mean that? One night we had a big argument about a bird called the swit, who flies all the time. And I started talking about the whale. I started talking about the shark. And we had this big argument going. And of course, I nailed him with a line. He said, you mean to tell me that a shark doesn't sleep at night? I said, what would a shark know from day or night? People loved that. So that all evolved. And he would give me more and more freedom because he knew I wouldn't trap him. I wouldn't say something dumb. Oftentimes I see shows where the guy intrudes, but he shouldn't have intruded. You know, my attitude about being the second banana was to be in when needed and out of the way when not needed. And that's an art. It's an art form. And people say, you know, did you like that role? I said, I loved it. Running that role the way I was able to do it, in my mind, I loved it. I wanted to be the best second banana they ever heard of. And second bananas have gone back to Greek drama, you know, way back to the golden age of Greek. They had second bananas, the friend of the boss, you know, throwing little jabs in, you know, having a counterpoint, something different. And that was my role. And he let me do it, and it was wonderful. But we never discussed it. He never said, there was never any compliments. There was never any criticism. He never said, you're doing a good job. He never said, you're doing something I don't like. In 30 years, that never came up.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So you call yourself a second banana.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that you, if you described the show to someone, you would say, I was a second banana?
All right, I was a second banana. Let me tell you about a second banana. Second banana goes way back. I mentioned the Greek drama. It's in Greek drama. It's in Shakespeare. All through Shakespeare, there are other subplots with second bananas. Burlesque, in the early days of stage shows per se, burlesque, you know, when burlesque was like a great art form, which it still is properly done, the Guys and Dolls kind of show is like a burlesque show. There was always a friend of the leading man, a friend of the boss. There were movies. You know, Tony Randall was always the friend of Rock Hudson. He was the second banana. You know, he was the guy that gets Eve Arden. You know, he doesn't get Marilyn Monroe. He gets Eve Arden. That's the second banana. And it's a great role. It's a great role. It's a great balancing thing for the boss. There was a guy named, I saw his name the other day in something, Frank McHugh. Do you know that name at all? He was the friend of the head guy, Frank McHugh. And there was a great scene. I'm trying to, it's like Fred McMurray or somebody like that. And he says, I got an airplane free. He says, what do you mean? I got a free airplane. He says, that's wonderful. Where is it? He says, right out there. You know, they go over and oh, no, there it is. And he says, that is wonderful. Oh, that's great. He says, and look at that. I had to get those 1,000 to get it, but look at them. They're all out there. You know, that kind of the bumbling kind of guy, you know, only he would figure out if he bought 1,000, he'd get a free plane. He didn't have to mention that. He just said, I got a free airplane. That's the second banana.